Welcome back. Namibia is hosting the second session of the Botswana Namibia Binational Commission, the BNC, from the 6th to the 10th of October 2025 here in Windhoek. Now, this high-level bilateral platform aims to strengthen cooperation between the two neighbouring nations across a wide range of sectors, from diplomacy and trade to defence, social development, as well as regional security. The upcoming sessions will culminate in the Heads of State Summit, co-chaired by Her Excellency Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, President of Namibia, and His Excellency Advocate Duma Gideon Boko, President of the Republic of Botswana. Now, to share more on what this milestone means for Namibia and what to expect from the discussions, we're joined by Mr. Jonas Mbambo, Press Secretary in the Presidency. Jonas, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us here on the Daily Roundup.
Very good evening to you, Nina, and a very good evening to all viewers. Thank you so much for having me.
Always lovely having you with us. Well, just to start with, for those who might be unfamiliar with the Binational Commission, just briefly explain what the BNC is and, of course, its purpose.
Yeah. So the Binational Commission, or BNC for short, is basically the highest framework of cooperation between Namibia and Botswana. And as you rightfully said in your introduction, it is co-chaired by our two heads of state. It brings together ministers, senior officials, and experts from both sides. Now, its purpose is to basically turn the long-standing friendship of the two nations into practical results, coordinating efforts in trade, education, security, health, and any other areas of interest between the two nations.
Now, Namibia last hosted the Joint Commission on Cooperation before the establishment of this BNC. How does the current structure, enhance bilateral engagement between the two countries?
That's a great question. Now, if I were to use boxing as an example, we've now basically shifted to the highest level, which is the vision. So the shift from the old Joint Commission to the Binational Commission really took our cooperation to another level. So previously, discussions were mostly technical between ministers and EDs and whatever the case may be. But now, in the BNC, everything is elevated, where the heads of states are now the ones leading the process. So this gives decisions more weight and ensures implementation and allows us to track progress across the sectors of cooperation. So in short, the BNC moves us from talk to action, and that reflects how mature and strategic our partnership with Botswana is.
Now, the ongoing session currently happening here in Windhoek, of course, will cover several cooperation areas, which we both alluded to earlier. But which sectors will take, center stage this year?
So these deliberations are divided into 4 committees. So the first committee is the diplomatic, political, and legal committee, which will discuss everything that has to do with diplomacy, politics, and legal issues. And have the economic committee, which obviously focuses on how our two economies can, live off each other or, collaborate. Because as you know, both Namibia and Botswana are diamond mining countries. And currently, right now, the diamond market isn't doing fantastic due to the fact that there are synthetic diamonds that have now saturated the market. But both countries need to look at other areas of cooperation to diversify the economic activity. In the third place, we have the social committee as well. And then last but not least, we share a common border with Botswana. So the Defense and Security Committee will be focusing on areas of interest in that area.
I understand, Jonas, that a number of bilateral agreements and MOUs are expected to be signed during this session. Could you share with some of these, what these may focus on?
Yes, indeed. There are several agreements lined up across key areas, and they include, if I may just read them out, I can't in my head, energy, communications, health, geology, arts and culture, correctional services, policing, and employment and labor. So the agreement aims to strengthen institutional collaboration, promote knowledge exchange, and ensure that our cooperation directly benefits citizens on both sides of the border. And just to take away from something that the president said this morning was that, we can't just have meetings and where we deliberate on hours on end and days on end and then sign agreement and nothing becomes of it. But at the end of the day, it's all about the everyday Botswana. It's everyday. It's all about the everyday Namibian and the difference this collaboration will make.
Well, earlier this year, President Nandi-Ndaitwah as well as President Boko reaffirmed the need to accelerate the joint projects between the countries. So what progress has been made since that commitment?
Well, we have seen solid progress. One of the major areas is the Trans-Kalahari Railway, where both countries approved the conception report and began benchmarking exercises. As you know, Botswana does have a dry port which was given to it by Namibia. And it being, I don't like using the word landlocked country, but rather land-linked country, Namibia is a strategic country, given the fact that we do have an ocean. And it's to their advantage and, both to advantage as well. And there's also in the energy sector, maybe Botswana launched a $4 billion feasibility study for a joint oil refinery, which is a major step toward regional energy independence.
Well, Jonas, I think you'd agree that, regional collaboration has become increasingly vital in today's economic and security climate. So how do Namibia and Botswana's, shared priorities contribute to the broader SADC goals?
As the saying goes, that you don't choose your neighbor, but you choose how to interact with them. Now more than ever, neighboring countries need to collaborate, given the status of geopolitics around the world. Those with more power, increasingly hoarding more resources for themselves, while small countries like ourselves and Botswana are left, to look within. We have to work together. So at the end of the day, we have no choice but to hold hands and to see how we can further our interest in light of what's happening around the world.
Finally, Jonas, what long-term outcomes does Namibia hope to achieve from this second session of the Binational Commission?
Before I answer that, just one more item I think that we both overlooked when we were preparing for this interview is that tomorrow, as part of this week's engagements, there will be a street renaming ceremony in Windhoek in honor of Seretse Khama, the founding president of Botswana. So Veldstrasse will be named after him. As you know, Namibia for the longest time has, we never would have achieved our independence without the help of the many people. And one of them was Seretse Khama, who provided safe passage, refuge, and solidarity to Namibian plan fighters as we're waging the war against apartheid. So that will be taking place tomorrow. But to wrap up the discussion, it's once again to ensure that the deliberations don't just end on paper. It's not just documents that are going to be signed that will collect dust, but will be put into action to change the livelihoods of the citizens of both Namibia and Botswana. And also just speaking to the regional development as well, I think both countries have a big role to play in reaching those objectives.
Mr. Jonas Mbambo, thank you so much for your time this evening and thank you for joining us.
Much obliged, Nina. Thank you so much.
Well, that was Press Secretary Jonas Mbambo just giving us an update on the Botswana Namibia Binational Commission taking place in the capital from the 6th until the 10th of October. Also,